means that you have all these potential units here just sitting around not doing anything. So, one thing you can do to build units very quickly, you'll notice that each of these units have hotkeys just to the right of their name. Drone, for example, you'll see a D in parentheses there. Overlord, there's a V. Zergling, there's a Z. So, there is a quick way, rather than clicking individual units, if you press and hold the Z key, this will turn all the remaining larvae into Zerglings. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down Z, and you'll see that I just filled up on eggs, and those will all be ready in just a minute. Go ahead and get some more inject larvae going. I'm hoping if I actually do it and say it enough that it'll get stuck in people's heads. You're probably thinking, wow, it's really annoying the fact that this guy keeps announcing that he's doing this. But I'm just trying to put emphasis on the importance of doing that. So I'm going to keep being annoying about it in the hopes that you will benefit from it later on. So you'll see anyways, meanwhile, back at the base here, we do have the upgrade just about done. More larvae are careening off of the top of the layer, and more larvae going up. And so I'm going to go ahead and build a few drones here so we can get some different tech upgrades going. I'm going to go ahead and put in the other roach upgrade, since now we do have burrow. And while those drones are building, I'll just go ahead and show you the roach burrow ability, whatnot. Pretty much all the Zergland units have the ability to burrow. I'm going to go ahead and move out here with the Zerglings. You'll see, pretty straightforward. They dig in. You can barely see them. Now, when you're playing an opponent, they will not be able to see burrowed units unless they have a detector. So, burrow is great for ambush and whatnot for most of your units. Some units, such as the roach, have the ability to burrow. And then I do not have the move upgrade yet complete. It's about halfway done. So, you'll see they have burrowed right now, and I will actually show you what happens. Well, no, you're very, very bad roaches. Okay. Okay. So you see this roach, really low health. So I'm going to go ahead, burrow it, and without the health upgrade, you'll see this thing, or the health increase upgrade, this is regenerating pretty quickly. You know, probably take about 20 seconds to get back up to full health. And when that upgrade completes, I'll go ahead and show you again what happens, and you'll see those things regenerate just so much more quickly. So, now that we're back at the base with these drones completed, I am going to go ahead and put down a few more buildings. This is the Baneling Nest. This was actually available at Tier 1. I just went ahead and got Tier 2 early. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down, and I'll show you Banelings in just a minute. This is the Spine Crawler. This is the equivalent to the Sunken Colony from Starcraft 1. So, like I said, there are no more creep colonies anymore. You will build the defensive structure directly from the drone. Same thing with the Spore Crawler, just like the Spore Colony from StarCraft 1. We'll go ahead and put one of those down as well. And our upgrades are done, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to get those. And the Roach upgrade is done. I'll focus on that in just a minute here. Now, this button right here is for the Zerg Advanced Structures. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And you'll see we have a few different buildings here. We have the Hydralisk Den, which if any of you played StarCraft 1, you know the Hydralisk very well. And that's kind of the iconic unit from StarCraft 1 and for the Zerg. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a Hydralisk Den. And while that builds, I'm also going to go ahead and select this other drone and put down a Spire, another iconic building from StarCraft 1. So most of you guys should recognize that. And if not, that's okay. We'll go over that in just a minute here. Okay, so larva kind of chilling around. You see we do have the Baneling Nest complete. This little sick spidery thing. I don't really know what is up with this building, but that's okay. Is that it does let us to go ahead and build Banelings. There is an upgrade from the Baneling Nest. It increases the movements of the Banelings, which I'll just go ahead and get right now, and then I will head down to my Zerglings and make a Baneling. Banelings are one of the units that you build not from the hatchery itself, but you morph another unit into the Baneling. In this case, it's the Zergling. So I'm going to go ahead, take a couple Zerglings out here, away from the rest of the pack, and I'll kind of zoom in here. You can see what happens when I click the Baneling button. So I'll just go ahead and click that 3 times, and you'll see they do morph into eggs here, and they will sit for about 20 seconds or so. So meanwhile, I'll go ahead and go back to the base. We do have what looks like an extractor that does not have any more gas. So one difference from StarCraft 1 is that you can no longer continue to mine from a depleted Vespene geyser. The geyser is now effectively worthless. So you'll want to make sure you take these drones, as they will appear in the little idle worker button there in the bottom left. You want to make sure you put these drones to work. So in this case, I do have a couple more buildings that I want to build. The first one is a Nidus Network, which is yet kind of another building from StarCraft 1. This one functions a little bit differently, but for the most part the same. And there is a new building called the Infestation Pit, which allows you to build upgrades and build the infestors. I'm going to go ahead and put that down as well. So we've got one little drone here. He does not have a home. I think we can find one for it, though, as I will go ahead and send it down to this high yield expansion, and we'll just kind of secure some additional resources here. And it looks like I need to edit the map a little bit because I messed up the mineral placement. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And we're going to head back to the ranch here, and I'm going to put down another creep tumor. Going to go ahead and plop that down at the base of the ramp. One thing about the creep tumors, you cannot build them actually on the ramp. So if you need to put creep down, or if you need to put it up, you want to make sure you put the creep tumor as close to the ramp entrance or exit as possible, and the creep will kind of, splooge down and, get all over everything. Well, that was a terrible choice of words, but that is okay, because that is just how Zerg roll. So anyways, we have here, all of our buildings are complete. We have a whole cluster of them. First of all, this is the spine crawler. Like I said, this is the sunken colony equivalent from StarCraft 1. And this is also the spore crawler, again, kind of the equivalent from Spore Colony. And one difference between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 is you can actually uproot these buildings and move them, which kind of allows you to have a more dynamic defense. So I'm going to go ahead and select these two units, move them down to our new expansion area here. And even though I know we're not going to be attacked, I'm still just going to go ahead and put these down for good measure. So you'll see that I am selecting the root button here. Going to go ahead and place the building, and it is going to go ahead and do its own thing. Continue to expand the creep here. Okay, so those buildings are now out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and move on in the order that which we place these buildings down in. Hydralisk Den. Everybody loves Hydralisk. If you don't love Hydralisk, you just don't love StarCraft 2. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. I'm going to go ahead and put down a few Hydralisks from these larvae here. And in addition, I'm actually going to go ahead and tell you guys go hang out at the Hydralisk Den. So when they are done, they will indeed move down to their den. You'll notice there's also some additional units that were available to us here. I'm going to go ahead and make a few Mutalisks. Again, a unit from StarCraft 1 should be very recognizable. A couple of new units we have in the arsenal here. First of all, we have Infestors. So I'm going to go ahead and build a couple of those, send them down to the Infestor Pit. And last but not least, we do have the Corruptor, which is another unit available to us that is new to StarCraft 2. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to one as I am a noob and was not paying attention to my overlords. So I'm going to go ahead, send some overlords up here, and we'll go ahead and continue to go with the tutorial here. And on the subject of overlords, the overlords actually do have a few upgrades from StarCraft 1. Of course, on the hatchery, they do have the original upgrades from StarCraft 1 where you increase the